For part 1, step 1, trace the path to the web server from the PCA. So we need to trace PCA to the web server. First of all, we need to type in this command in PCA, command prompt. As we can see here, the trace is completed. From PCA, we will go to this IP address which belongs to R1, and then the next one we will go to R2, and then we will go to INET, and the last one we will be at web server. So it will go from PCA to switch 1 to router 1, router 2, INET, and the web server. Step 2, repeat the same process as the one in step 1, which is the PCA. So from PCB, we will be from here to switch 3, router 3, router 2, internet, and web server. For step 3, the question prompts us to delete the link between R3 and switch 3, and then try pinging PCB to see the connectivity. Use the same command as the one we used before. As we can see here, PCB lost connection with its default gateway. So right now, to reconnect its router, we need to select on connection and copper straight through cable. Go from switch A and choose Gigabit Ethernet 02 to router 3 and Gigabit Ethernet 0. Try pinging again. As you can see, the ping is successful because we reconnect PCB to its router. So the next one, for part 2, we need to configure HSRP active and standby routers on router 1 using all of these commands. What will the HSRP priority of R3 be when it is added to HSRP group 1? It will be 100 because the default value stated here is 100. For step 2, we need to configure HSRP on router 3. Configure the router 3 interface that is connected to LAN 2. Repeat only step 1B and 1C above, which is this B and C. Go to router 3. As for step 3, we need to verify HSRP configuration in R1 and R3. Use this command. Here are the description inside R1. Here are the description in router 3. Use this information to answer these 3 questions. Which router is the active router? As we can see here, router 1 is the active router. What is the MAC address for the virtual IP address? This is the MAC address for the virtual IP address. What is the IP address and priority of the standby router? For the priority router, we go to router 3. The priority is 100, and for the standby router, it is 192.168.1.3. The next one, we will use show standby brief command on router 1 and router 3 to view HSRP status summary. Sample output should be shown as below. And then we need to change the default gateway address for PCA, PCC, switch 1 and also switch 3. But before that, we need to know which address should we use. So we need to use the virtual IP address given, which is 192.168.1.254. We will ping both PCA and PCC to the web server to see if they are successful. Go to IP configuration in PCA and change the default gateway 192.168.1.254 PCB and then switch 1 same goes to switch 3. Let's see if things are successful from both PC to web server. The pings is successful. This ping is also successful. For step 1, make the active router become unavailable. The question is, does the path differ from the path used before HSRP was configured? So in order to find out, we need to go to PCB and type in command tracer to the web server. As we can see here, it goes from this IP address and then from here to here to here. In order to know if it's different or not, let's go back to our first command. As you can see here, it uses this path which belongs to router 3. However, now it goes to router 1 because this is the active router. For step 2, we need to break the link to R1. Question A prompts us to delete the cable that connect S1 and R1. Then use this tracer command to trace the path to go to web server. Now we can see that it goes to router 3 because the active router is unavailable. Hence, the standby router became an active router. How was this trace different from the previous trace? PCB is now making path to the web server using this active router. For step 3, we need to restore the link to router 1 using this cable. And then we need to execute a trace from PCB to the web server. What path is used to reach the web server? Use the tracer command from PCB. As we can see, it goes to R1, R2, the internet, and then the web server. Router 1 becomes active router because we used the command print before. If the print command was not configured for the HSRP group on router 1, would the results have been the same? The answer is no, because router 3 will remain as the active router, so router 1 will be unable to be an active router. As we can see, the completion status is now 100.
Any questions? No questions!